Scorpio, welcome to your monthly reading. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the month of January. And wishing you all a very happy new year. Okay, let's see what messages we have for Scorpio for January's energy. All right, the Hierophant coming out with Judgment and the Knight of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck to start the reading. You know, right away I'm sort of getting this impression around a realization that's trying to bridge a connection to move you forward, perhaps in a new way, a new pattern. You may have a very sort of routine way of looking at things, and now something has come in to reveal a realization that has the potential to move you in a different direction. You might find yourself stepping out of an autopilot sort of sequence and into something that feels a little bit more deliberate, a little bit more intentional. The challenge lies in communication. Oh, interesting. And there's the Knight of Cups. So we may need a new approach in how we're communicating. We may need to be more heart-centered in how we approach a situation based on a realization we've had that a certain way of doing things, a certain approach is no longer working for us. It's no longer bringing in the harmony and alignment that we may be looking for. What's rising to the top, we see the Magician and the Four of Wands with that Ace of Wands on the bottom of the deck. That's very interesting. That almost makes me feel like, yeah, there's a very intentional shift coming through as guidance around. I wonder if there was some kind of fallout or disagreement where we just weren't able to communicate in a way that feels effective using our known strategies. And so now we're being guided to step into a new way of approaching something more heartfelt, more energy around the intention being very deliberate and set here as truth. So that's very interesting, Scorpio. It feels like that could be very challenging though, in the practical sense of trusting a brand new way of approaching a situation when you may have a pattern that you use to communicate, especially in moments where there may be a disagreement or something that we're not seeing eye to eye. So a new intention around how to deliver that kind of communication. It's at the root. Chariot, yeah. We've got to move forward in a new way because this is no longer working. And, Nine of Swords can be really overwhelming, frankly. We can be really worried about, I wonder how they took what I said. Is this going to help us move forward, or are we going to have this conversation again? I wonder if they understood what I was trying to say. What kind of approach might I need to use in the future in order to move forward towards a different, sort of a new way of doing things, right? Let's have a little peek at the past here. What led to this? Okay, yeah, Six of Pentacles in reverse, with the Ten of Cups in reverse. So there's likely been a scenario here that felt like someone was giving more than someone else. I wonder if this lack of balance in the Six of Pentacles, lack of balance here in the Ten of Cups, could be within a family, could be a significant other that you may be feeling sort of slighted by, but the communication around it may be showing you that I need to approach this from a different communication standpoint so that we can make headway in a way that feels like it's benefiting us both. I mean, Ten of Cups in reverse can really feel like we need to get on the same page. And there's your Wheel of Fortune also in reverse, yeah, with the Four of Cups. So even moving forward without a shift towards something new, it feels like we're sort of going round and round and really starting to feel hopeless about it. Four of Cups can be, in some way really self-focused in a way that feels hopeless, almost like I feel sorry for myself. Feeling bad about yourself is not going to solve this. In fact, sometimes feeling bad about ourselves can really make things move in a direction that does start to spin out, where we tailspin because we might be internalizing something here that's really not allowing something else to move forward. So our perception of ourself matters. Our the way we're focused on what has transpired affects how we can move forward. If we can move forward, we may have convinced ourselves that that's that. Yeah, Ten of Pentacles now coming out in reverse as well. I can't help but wonder if this is a family dynamic that has had a setback. Scorpio, this could be your partner. This could be a family member. This could even be, an experience you're having that's trying to show you that unless I change my focus within, I'm going to continue to experience these kind of losses or these kind of setbacks in the material world around relationships, around, the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, like it almost feels like what we might not feel appreciated for what we've been doing or giving to a situation. And then we start to feel a little bit sorry for ourselves and helpless, and that creates more of this setback energy. So reframing things may really help with it moving forward, but we have to do some reflection first. The moon has come up so much in these monthly readings. My goodness, there's been and we just had a new moon on December 30th in Capricorn, and so I wonder if you've been realizing things with that Judgment card and this Moon card. There's something that needs to transform within in order to resolve this conflict. Five of Wands in reverse again. Another five to show us that unless I'm going to do something that feels like it can resolve this, then I'm part of the struggle then. I'm part of that challenge. Five of Wands in reverse makes me feel like you're getting ready to step out of something in order to try to find a more authentic way to resolve it. You've got this Five of Swords here as well. That's three fives. Something has to change when we see three fives. And seeing the moon makes me think there's a part of your reflection that's going to lead to a transformation for you, where you might be approaching it differently moving forward. And look at that. The sun comes out right after with the Hanged Man to say, there may be something that I need to look at from a different perspective in order to see the possibilities a little bit more optimistically. And I can't help but think that there's a new approach you need to take when I see this. And it might be very uncomfortable to change this, but that autopilot can keep us looping. We need to bring in more deliberate and intentional awareness around how we're perceiving something and how we're communicating. Very interesting. Six of Cups. Yeah. Another six with the four. This is interesting. The Libra video or the Libra reading might be one that is relevant for you as well. It really had a focus about letting something go. And seeing this Six of Cups makes me think that you've realized something and you can't unrealize it now. And it's already sort of initiated this transformation within where you may have to really let go of an autopilot or a pattern in your communication, in your perception, even in your motivation, Scorpio, in order to see a different outcome. Let's take another one here. Yeah, a more fulfilling outcome. In order to have a more fulfilling outcome, we need to bring the end to something. And it feels like with that Moon card, the ending is coming kind of, at least in this part of this reading, it feels like there's something, that's a deep knowing for you that you've already realized. You just need to initiate that now. You have to trust it and lean into that change. And you may already know it. And even as I cut the deck, seeing chaos and conflict, this, if you're involved with a Libra, you may want to watch that reading, because this has a lot of themes that are similar. There's something authentic here that needs to come to the light, and it may be causing a bit of a rub right now with all those fives that we saw. You have 3 5s in this reading, 555. It's time for a change. It's time for a new approach, and you may have a deep knowing about that already. Message in a bottle, yeah. Trust the energy that you're feeling, Scorpio. If you've already sort of been feeling like there's something on your side of the street that you can do differently, trust it, because that feels like a message that's coming from within to really guide you. And there's your why card, asking you to question your intentions. This was coming through in reverse, which kind of gives this impression that says, and bottom of the deck is orphaned in reverse as well. So I wonder if we're making a correlation, or you're deducing something. You might be looking at something and saying, for example, like, well, if they loved me, they'd treat me better. Or if they respected me, they would treat me better. Or they would speak to me better. And they would show up for me when I need them. And you might be making a connection here and personalizing something. And it's almost like that's causing you to feel that rejection. This is another 5. This may as well be the 5 of Cups. So that's 4 5s in your reading. And it really feels like this is saying, I can't look at things from that perspective. If I want something to change, I have to be willing to look at it from a different point of view, with that Hangman in as well. Yeah, time to go. It really is time to get off of this spinning wheel and move forward with a new intention within yourself. Ace of Wands now upright on the bottom of this deck, guiding that the energy is kind of in your hands. This is really interesting, Scorpio. You might be feeling like it's on them, but I can't help but feel, looking at this, that there's a shift you can make internally that may really change things. Reminds me of something Neville Goddard wrote, where he said, if you can see someone with love, like if you can just see love when you look at someone, and you can become their prophet and their healer by looking at them with eyes that only see love. And it's not to say that you're looking at someone with eyes that are not loving, but you might be looking at a situation and thinking that it's trying to sort of force you into a corner here. And it may not be that at all. It may just be that there's something that needs to shift within. And if you can look at the situation with eyes of love, you can heal that situation. You can become its prophet and its healer. There's so much wisdom in the idea that our consciousness is really what's creating our reality, even in relationships. That if I decide that someone is trying to hurt me, I will find evidence for that in their behavior. And if I believe that someone is, doing their best that they can, and I'm not personalizing the situation, then I can just be an observer without internalizing that energy. Something major needs to shift here, and it has a role here in it for you as well as the other party. Very interesting, Scorpio. I hope this has been helpful. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me today. Trust what you know deep down here. It may be time to leave something behind in terms of how you're viewing it. And it may just be the end as well for some of you. For some of you, you may just be like, you know what? I've tried to look at it with eyes of love, but this is not serving me. And I've been spinning around that conclusion. So I need to just walk away. Take it as it resonates, my friends. Sending you so much love here, Scorpio. Yeah, we'll see you in the next reading. Take care.